try some Portuguese. Sou o Patrick, best man. Peço desculpas, mas não falo português.
Well done.
Okay. So that means I'm Patrick, I'm Luis's best man, and sorry I don't speak Portuguese. That's at least what Pedro told me. So, unfortunately I had to prepare a speech, so unlike Luis, I'm not just going to stand here and ad-lib. There's actually through various senses to allow me to stand up here and say anything, so forgive me if I read from a script. But I'll start off with how I know Luis, or how I met him. Luis, my wife likes to point out, she's a lovely lady in red over here, she was his friend first. And we all studied together in Manchester University, as quite a few people here did, and we all lived in the same hall of residence. Now Luis, coming from Europe, obviously believed one of the strange myths, or incorrect myths, that English people can't hold their drink. So no doubt when Luis arrived in England, he would have challenged various people he met to go on drinking sessions throughout Manchester, as is traditional with fresh drink. Unfortunately, he was obviously incapable of keeping up, because there was a trail of vomit that ran from his bedroom to the nearest bathroom. But lucky for me, Wen's room was opposite Louisa's. So if I ever forgot where her room was, I could just follow the stain and it would just be the room opposite. Another story from when I didn't really know Luis very well. I'm not sure whether the story started by Luis or whether he just let people's imagination run wild. But it basically came down to the fact that people seem to think that Mateus wine was his. And this story ran for quite some time. But only towards the end of the first year, when I and a few other people were sort of saying, so, Luis, the summer holidays, how about we all come and stay on your estate? Did he finally have to admit that he just shared the same surname? Now, as many of you know, one of Luis's passions is skiing, and I have Luis to thank for introducing me to the sport. Or in Luis's case, it's more of a leisurely drinking, eating activity in the mountains. But while we were in Manchester, we had quite a few ski trips up to Scotland, and it was only a 6 or 7 hour drive. One time we had about 2 or 3 cars going up, and I was in the first car, and we went up a few hours before. So we got to our chalet, and unpacked our stuff, and we headed down to the pub. So I left a note on the door, and it said, "Gone down to the King's Sarse for a drink. Meet us down there." Now Luis was completely oblivious to the joke in the name. So he and a couple of other friends spent a couple of hours wandering around Fort William, which was the nearest town, asking all the locals, "Excuse me, do you know where the King's Arse is?" Now, I sometimes wonder what Luis's parents think of me. That I've been blamed for lots of little stories that have been used as a foil. Well, one story, now this is a second-hand story, but I'll tell it anyway. One little story he told, he got caught out with. And this is related to a skiing trip. Now, Luis moved from Manchester to Switzerland in 2003, 2004, I can't remember exactly when. 2001, was it?
Yes.
And Luis's parents drove over from Belgium to Manchester, and they picked up all of his stuff that he wasn't taking to Switzerland. And as I understand from the story, Luis's mum was in charge of unpacking all of the stuff that he wasn't taking to Switzerland and sort of putting it into storage. So Luis got a phone call from his mum saying, "Why have you got a pair of crutches?" So Luis, obviously thinking on his feet, was like, when Patrick went skiing once, he hurt his leg. They're his.
It was Claudia told that.
Oh, Claudia told that. The plot thickens. Now, apparently, a bit later, Luis got another phone call which said, "Why have you got X-rays?" And Luis or Claudia, because I'm not sure who it was now, said, oh, well, Patrick actually fractured his leg, and he had to have x-rays. At this point, apparently, Luis's mum said, why did the x-rays say Luis Fernandez Pedro Lante Mateus on the x-rays? At this point, he finally had to come clean. So that got me wondering, am I really Luis's friend, or just a convenient excuse that can be brought out at various points in time? So time will tell, but one story makes me think that maybe I am a good and useful friend. I was sitting at work in London one morning, and I get a call from Luis. It's like, dude, call Claudia and tell her to come to my flat and guard it immediately. I can't talk, just tell her to come right now. I'm like, what? Bit odd, because Claudia's living in Geneva, which is a 2.5-hour drive from Baden near Zurich. So I asked a few questions to dig a little deeper. And what transpires is that Luis just slipped in the shower, he's pulled his bag, he spent 1 hour crawling to his phone, and to find out there was hardly any battery. He called Claudia and she wasn't picking up, and obviously his battery is running low, and he won't call the ambulance because he's totally butt naked. So the one person he thinks of is me. He calls me up and asks me to get hold of Claudia. So that brings me on to Claudia. I've been whining Claudia all week with what I might say on this speech, and saying that I had one story about her, which she's been racking her brains to think of, what could possibly be. But before I got married, a wise man said to me, the key to a happy marriage is all about communication. So I've got the perfect story about Luis and Claudia when they came to visit me and Gwen in London. They'd got on the tube from Heathrow, and we lived in near Gloucester Road, and they'd apparently fallen out about something. Or rather, Luis had done something wrong. So which meant, or basically meant they'd stopped talking to each other. Unfortunately, neither of them was going to back down. So me and Gwen were basically the go-betweens. So the entire weekend involved Luis asking me to ask Claudia something, and then Claudia would ask Gwen to tell Luis whatever her answer was. And that included, please pass the salt. So from the moment they arrived to the moment they left, they didn't utter a single word. But fortunately, Luis has now learned his lesson that women are always right, no matter what. So here I find myself on holiday again with Luis. I'm thinking back at all the best holidays, ski trips and events I've done while at university and since university. Luis and Claudia have been part of most of them. But in fact, on this trip, Luis is as much a tourist in Portugal as I am. He took us around Lisbon the other day, and he had to stop and ask the policeman for directions to a bar, and had no idea what any of the buildings he took us to see were called. He simply referred to them as, dude, this is the best. Or, hey man, this is the best, or what? Generally these phrases are what Luis applies to everything around him, be it skiing, food, travel, beaches. Luis demands the best and expects the best. So I guess it's a good thing that Luis found Claudia. In Claudia, Luis has found someone who is beautiful, kind, considerate, she can cook, but more importantly, she lets me sleep on her sofa in Stad so I can go skiing. In Luis's language, she is the best. So ladies and gentlemen, please raise your glasses. Salute to the new Mr. and Mrs. Mateus.